Okay, everybody, super exciting day. I have been officially invited to the launch of Tesla's Robotaxi network in Austin, Texas, starting this Sunday, June 22nd. I got an email from Tesla telling me this. I want to share that email with you. I want to share some important information in there and some cool little things that are part of this trial that I think y'all would find very, very cool. So let me go ahead and put on my glasses and then I'll show you this email. So this came last night around midnight, my time, Central Time. And I'll read you what's on the email here, and then we'll go through it together. I'll make sure I am not blocking the way here with my face in the lower right corner. So it started by saying, the future is now. You're invited to early access of Tesla's Robotaxi service in Austin, Texas. And it had the picture of this Model Y with the Robotaxi decals. For those that have been following the videos, you know that Tesla's sort of launching this service with the Model Y, and they've put the Robotaxi decals on the side. And that's, when I was out there in Austin trying to find the Robotaxi, I was looking for that. I couldn't find it. But on Sunday, we're going to be in it. We're going to be riding it. And of course, I'm going to be posting all kinds of pictures and videos and everything on this channel. And then if you guys have any ideas of what kind of tests I can run, please let me know in the comments below. And I'll do as many of them as I can. And in theory, I should be able to do a lot of them because I live in this area, so I'm not limited to how often I can use this service. So let's go ahead and get into the email. And so the email starts by saying, as an early access rider, you can be among the first to use our new Robotaxi app and experience an autonomous ride with our geofenced area in Austin. Through this exclusive preview, you'll have the opportunity to provide valuable feedback on our Robotaxi service. And then on the next line here, it said, while the early access phase is invitation only, you're permitted to bring up to one additional guest, so long as they are 18 plus and you remain present with them for the duration of the ride. A Tesla safety monitor sitting in the front right passenger seat will accompany you on your trip. So this one is a very interesting one. So we had confirmation let me go back to my face here. We had confirmation from Elon Musk saying that the Robotaxi is going to launch without a safety driver, but there will be a safety rider. So with the start of this network, at least, they're putting somebody from Tesla in the car to go along with myself and one other person, up to one other person in the car. My assumption is just in case something were to happen, my gut tells me this is probably going to be yanked relatively quickly, especially if they're not sitting behind the steering wheel and pedal. Mainly because if they're not behind the steering wheel and pedal, they can't really intervene if the car's doing something crazy. They would literally have to unbuckle their seatbelt, go around, or jump on the other side of the car. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm going to talk to these guys, obviously, and gals when I'm riding around starting on Sunday, trying to get as much information as I can. They're under NDA, so they're not going to be able to share much, I'm sure. But I'll pick their brain and sort of kind of get the vibe and lay of the land. So that's gonna be super fun to talk to these folks. I'm sure they are so freaking excited about launching this because this is like 8 years in the making. Freaking finally. Early access will begin this Sunday, June 22nd, 2025. This date is subject to change. It is currently Friday, 9:45 a.m. Central. So we're about less than 2 days from the launch of this. So hopefully nothing happens between now and then. If you're able to join us in Austin, please let us know by responding to this email, which I did. Confirm early access participants will receive a separate invitation to download our Robotaxi app. And so this I haven't received yet. Confirm early access participants will receive a separate invitation to download our Robotaxi app. But I did reply, and so I'm guessing sometime today or tomorrow I'll receive access to the app. And I'm curious to see if it's going to be part of the part of the actual Tesla app, or if it's going to be a different separate app. Maybe to start the program, they'll start with a separate app, and I'm sure over time they'll just merge the current Tesla app with the Robotaxi app. It just makes too much sense to do. Okay, and so here are the parameters of use. You must read through and agree to the attached terms of service, rider rules, Robotaxi rider privacy notice, and service animal policy. We'll go through some of those, kind of highlight some of the interesting things on there. You must have a debit card on file, which I have. You may request a ride in the app to from anywhere in the geofenced area, which we don't know what this geofenced area is yet. The rumor is that it's South Austin to start, but I'll know for sure once I get the app, and I'll know for sure once I'm down there on Sunday. Excluding any airports, which the major one in here is Austin Bergstrom. between 6 a.m. and 12 a.m. midnight every day of the week. These operational hours are subject to change. A map of the geofence area is available in the app. So this is sort of very similar to how the other ride-hailing networks launched, your Waymos, et cetera. They did it for a limited amount of time and a limited amount of the city. And then as they got more data and they got more comfortable and they knew that the ride was safe, the car was safe, the technology was safe to be used in that manner, then they quickly, try to expand as much as they can. In theory, we talked about this on the channel 1,000 times. Tesla's going to have a very unique advantage in expanding the network much faster than everyone else. So the thing I'm going to be tracking and actively looking for while I'm riding around and using Robotaxi is how quickly they will expand that network. Is it going to be that small geofence area for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, right? And so if we listen to Elon Musk and take sort of as his vision of what he wants this to be, and of course put some sort of he's probably going a little too fast, let's say, potentially by the end of the year, Tesla's area of service in Austin area could be just as big, if not bigger, than Waymo's, if they really want to expand at the speed that they want to expand to, especially if by the end of next year, they want to be basically everywhere. That's the kind of speed of expansion we should see. So we'll see. Note that service may be limited or unavailable in the event of inclement weather. So that's going to be interesting to see. The forecast for this area for the next week is sunny and in the 90s. So weather should not be an issue whatsoever. But if we do get some rain and we have rain in the forecast, I'll make sure to go down there and see if that's going to be impacted in any way, shape, or form, how the software performs, how the car performs, etc. Only the invitee may download and use the Robotaxi app to hail a Robotaxi ride. That makes sense. Please be courteous and treat the service with respect. Your participation in this early access program may be terminated for various reasons, including violating these parameters or engaging in unsafe and or disrespectful behavior. No problem. I got you. Provide a star rating and feedback from your experience in the app. No problem at all. And then photos and videos of the experience are okay, which is so cool to see. And, this speaks to Tesla's confidence level in the release of the software. So that's very good to see. And it's very par for the course for how Tesla likes to operate. Now, some of these documents are actually interesting because this privacy notice here, I actually want to cover this because there's some interesting information in here. One of the things about self-driving cars is that obviously with Tesla, they have cameras. They use cameras to operate the outside of the car. So if I go back to this face, sorry. The way Teslas operate today from a self-driving perspective is that they have 8 or 9 cameras, depending on what kind of car you have, that look at everything around you, but they also have a cabin camera inside of the car that monitor and see how if you're paying attention when you're using the self-driving software in your car. That's for existing Tesla owners if you just own a Model Y. The car that I'm going to be riding in on Sunday, it's going to be a Model Y. It's like literally any other Model Y that comes off the line from Tesla. So what that means is that it's using the same exact software and hardware suite on driving the car and also paying attention and monitoring. For this specific Robotaxi service, at least long term, it looks like Tesla's going to disable the cabin camera from the get-go. So you have actual total privacy in the car instead of having a camera looking at you, making sure you're not, dirtying the car, et cetera, by default. And so I'll sort of bring you up to this page, which I think that's actually a pretty big deal when it comes to talking about privacy and actual having true privacy in the car. So privacy comes standard. Cabin camera and microphone are off by default until needed. Whether you're running an errand, taking a call, or watching a movie, Robotaxi is designed to protect your privacy. Cabin camera. During an active ride, cabin camera is not used unless you initiate a request for support or operator assistance is required in case of an emergency. A green indicator is displayed on the rear touchscreen menu bar when cabin camera is active. If you choose to, riders can opt in and share cabin camera analytics with Tesla to help improve Robotaxi services. Use the Robotaxi app and navigate to profile data sharing, cabin camera analytics. To protect your privacy, even if you opt in to sharing this information, this camera data is not linked to your account. You may change the setting at any time. If a Robotaxi safety driver is present in the vehicle, Cabin camera is used by autopilot to detect inattentiveness. After a ride ends, cabin camera is used to confirm Robotaxi's readiness for its next trip. For example, by checking the vehicle is clean and not lost items. So this is actually pretty interesting because with the launch of this, and we see it at the top here too, early access, riders and guests participating in the invite-only early access are subject to additional data collecting practices. This includes Robotaxi's collection of exterior camera analytics, cabin camera analytics, and sound detection data to support product testing, research, and development in order to help continuously enhance the service. These temporary data practices apply only to early access riders. And so it's become very clear now that the company has thought about the implications of having a camera on watching you while you're by yourself in the Robotaxi, right? Now, for myself and whoever else is invited to the early access, we don't have a way to opt out because that's going to be part of accepting to this, right? It's like, hey, if you do want to be part of the early access, you're going to have to say, okay, I'm going to be comfortable being recorded while I'm being driven around in this Robotaxi, in addition to being a safety rider in the car. But the overarching story is once those safety riders are taken out and they open this up outside of early access, then by default, they're going to have that cabin camera off and they'll only turn it on to see if the car is dirty or if the car needs some sort of maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a really good option to have for customers and for people to know that, hey, if you're going to get into this car, literally, you will have privacy. And it makes a lot of sense too, because if you don't have somebody driving, what are you looking for, right? Like what are the things that you're trying to monitor if there's nobody behind the steering wheel and pedal, right? So that's really good to see. I'm really glad Tesla's doing that. I think that's going to help with some of the concerns around privacy and how people are thinking about self-driving cars. So huge kudos to Tesla for that, because that's really a big deal. That's a really big deal, and that's really good to see. Okay, now I want to show you this next document, which is the Robotaxi rider rules. We'll go through these quickly. Some of them we already know. You must be 18 to book a Robotaxi. You may not book a ride for another person. Anyone under 18 is prohibited from riding a Robotaxi. Everyone has to remain seated with seatbelts properly fastened. My guess is the software won't even work if that the seatbelt being in is not detected. Disabled riders may bring service animals. All other animals must stay home. Please be courteous and leave the Robotaxi as you found it, so don't mess it up, don't make it dirty. Please be sure to close all doors after entering and exiting a Robotaxi. Forgetting to do so may impact the vehicle's ability to move. My guess is it won't move unless it's closed. Riders must behave and interact with the Robotaxi and any Robotaxi support staff in a reasonable manner consistent with public safety and decorum. You're responsible for logging out of any software applications you or any of your guests access on the Robotaxi user interface during your ride. It might be probably smart for Tesla to do that automatically anyway. So like when the rider is out, just automatically log them out. That's probably going to be a good idea. Riders are prohibited from sitting in the front left seat, so behind the steering wheel and pedal, but may sit in another available seat. The number of passengers may not exceed 2. Again, this is for the early access. Please do not tamper with, modify, damage, or physically manipulate any equipment or component installed in a Robotaxi, or otherwise do anything to interfere with, disrupt. Just basically don't mess with the thing. Smoking, vaping, consuming alcohol, and other drugs are not permitted. The Robotaxi may not be used in connection with the commission of any crime or to transport weapons or illegal or hazardous materials. Damn it. Instruments or equipment intended to record, measure, reverse engineer, collect information about, or conduct surveillance of any feature, equipment, component, or area of a Robotaxi are strictly prohibited. And of course, to clarify it here, bringing on board devices with the intent to obtain competitively sensitive, proprietary, or non-public information about a Robotaxi. So my guess is somebody figured out the password and they got, or the safety rider is look at this crazy setting in the back end. If somebody's crazy enough to do that, my God. We may suspend or terminate Robotaxi access if you violate these rules, including if you disseminate content on a social media platform or similar medium depicting a violation of these rules or misuse of Robotaxi. So, obviously, I won't be doing any of that. I'll be just recording the ride and just seeing how it goes. That's it. I'm gonna post the whole thing. I want to talk to the safety rider. Whatever they can share, they'll share. But I'm not gonna step outside of the bounds of the rules, which I think those are very reasonable rules, obviously. And so, yeah, so as soon as I get the app, I'll also post a video about that as well, just to kind of walk you guys through what the interface looks like. And then I can't wait for Sunday. And then Sunday, I'll start recording rides. I am in the area. I'm about 40 minutes from downtown Austin. So in theory, I should be able to go down there every day of the week and test all kinds of stuff. I'm going to do comparisons of Tesla's Robotaxi versus Waymo and the other competitors here as well, if I have access to those. I believe the only one I have access to is Waymo, unfortunately, for now. Hopefully, I can get access to the other ones. And we're just going to see, like, is one faster than the other one? Is one cheaper than the other one? Which one rides smoother? Does it drive safer than the other one? How long does it take to get them, right? I'm going to guess with a Tesla Robotaxi, it's going to take a while to get it in this first run because, there's going to be the ones that are invited are going to all come to Austin. And then I don't know how many cars Tesla's going to have available. My guess is there might be some significant wait times with this first sort of like few weeks of launching the service. But fortunately, Tesla's advantage here is that they can just add Model Ys to the network. They're making like 1,000 or 2,000 of them a day, basically. So they can just, if they need 100 more, they add 100 more. If they need 500 more, they add 500 more. Of course, as long as the safety level is there. So they just have to reach those thresholds. And once they do, they'll start adding cars to the network relatively quickly, is my hope. Anyway, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know in the comment section below. I can't believe it's actually happening. This doesn't feel real, but it's actually happening. So more videos to come. Thank you very much.